Listen to these words from Isaiah 43. Do not remember the former things, or consider the things of old. I am about to do a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? I will make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. The wild animals will honor me, the jackals and the ostriches, for I give water in the wilderness, rivers in the desert, to give drink to my chosen people, the people whom I formed for myself, so that they might declare my praise. A couple I know chose this passage for their wedding. They had waited a long time to get married, and we had waited a long time for them to do it. And when the day came, we were all gathered, friends and families from every stage and corner of this couple's life, all of us part of the thick memory of their past. And we held our breath in utter joy for this daring thing they were about to do. It is quite a thing to step into a future that is unknown on a path that has yet to be cut. You enter a wilderness, a beautiful one to be sure, but a wilderness all the same, in that there is nothing safe or tame about this new journey. And all of us gathered there stood and watched this couple go. But first, we listened to these ancient words from Isaiah. Do not remember the former things, or consider the things of old. I am about to do a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? It's a beautiful passage, but a curious one too. Do not remember the former things. That's not what our counselors and psychologists tell us. They have a word for someone who refuses to deal with the past. The word is denial, and it is not a quality you especially want. People in denial are like ostriches who stick their heads in the sand, or a person who pretends that everything's fine, normal, when an enormous elephant is smack in the middle of the living room. Do not remember the former things. That's not what our teachers and religious leaders tell us. They who forget their history are doomed to repeat it, my professors told me. And one look at the newspaper convinces me always of that truth. And those of us who try to live as people of faith in this perplexing world have traditions and sacred stories and scriptures that we read over and over to one another. We aren't in the business of forgetting tradition. We try to remember it, to keep it honestly and faithfully. Do not remember the former things? How are we supposed to read that? There's the obvious, of course, for that wedding couple. Isaiah's words about doing a new thing hit the nail on the head. In fact, for newlyweds, there isn't much that doesn't fall in the new thing category. New spouse, new apartment, new families, new names, new chores, new habits and idiosyncrasies to smile at and sometimes to tolerate. But those new things settle down to routine soon enough. Pretty soon those newlyweds are old marrieds. Or that city you relocated to becomes familiar. It's your city. The new job is just your job. Time passes and we adjust. No matter how hard advertisers try to convince us, there really isn't much that's new under the sun, not for long anyway. How could God do a new thing that would make us forget the former things? In this passage from Isaiah, I hear words to live by. God's promise to Israel and God's promise to that wedding couple and even to us is that each day we travel this beautiful wilderness of life, God will do a new thing. God will make a way in the wilderness. and rivers in the desert so that we can drink the water we need and give praise to God. It's a strange promise God makes when you think about it. God doesn't promise to subdue the wilderness, only to make a way through it. God doesn't promise to take away the desert or take you out of it, only to find some water in it. God doesn't promise to tame the wild animals or to keep your husband from turning into a jackal or your wife from acting like an ostrich, because God knows marriage occasionally is its own wildlife safari. No, the only promise is to make a way and to find the water so that even the wild animals and partners and ordinary people will stop and see the new thing and honor God. I think that is the promise for us, for all of us. God will do a new thing. No matter how wonderful things seem to us today, God will do a new thing. No matter how tired we may be tomorrow, God will do a new thing. No matter how mundane the routine or sleepless the night or painful the argument, God will do a new thing. And it isn't clear what that will be. There is no promise to fix or mend or put more hours in the day. There is only the promise to make a way in the wilderness, a river in the desert, if we will look for it. I am about to do a new thing, says God. My prayer for that wedding couple, and my prayer for you, is that you will rise each morning and say to yourself and those you love, today God is about to do a new thing. And then I hope you will go out and look for it. Don't let your imagination be closed off by what has come before. Remember what you have. You have a thick memory of the former things, seas that split open so that people could pass through on dry land, pillars of fire in the night that led people through the wilderness, rocks that rolled away from the tomb, the dead raised, the lost found. You have a memory of God's liberation. Put your faith there, and the ancient miracles will come to life in you. This is a great day. It is the day God has made. God is about to do a new thing. May those words be on your lips for every day you are alive on this earth. Amen.